Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I have Josh Treadaway here. Say hi, Josh.
What's up?
What's up? So this is episode 299, and we just got into a heated discussion about burgers all of a sudden, and I thought, hey, wait. Let's do this on here.
I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
So this was delayed because you had to murder a
Burgerfi Burger. Okay, I had to murder it, and not only the burger, but see, the burger comes with urban fries. Now, there's different ways you can get your fries, but urban fries.
What makes it urban?
I don't know what, but they put Parmesan, garlic, parsley, and a garlic aioli over the fries.
I thought you were going to say like it doesn't know its dad, but it's a little spicy. You know.
Oh, you went Bert Kreischer on me. You went Bert Kreischer on me.
Oh, what?
I actually heard that skit just the other day.
Isn't that great?
It's fantastic. I mean, I've heard it before, but I was listening and I was like, I got to listen to this again.
The crazy part is, for those who don't know, Bert Kreischer has a special on Netflix called, what was that one called?
Big Boy, wasn't it?
Yeah, Big Boy. Yeah.
I think it was Big Boy, I believe.
Yeah.
And he talks about how the guy's like, oh, I love Joe Rogan. And he's like, I don't like you. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. You laugh at your own jokes. He's like, well, I do laugh at my own jokes. So I'm pretty fucking funny. Pardon my language.
Yeah, but he's got this skit about going into Starbucks and always ordering his coffee black, and him and the black dude behind the counter have a running joke with each other each time he comes in. He's like,
room for cream?
He's like, there's another one. There's going to have another joke. It's great. I love it. The funny part is while he was coming up with that joke, he was talking about it on his podcast every day. He was like,
oh, was he really?
He's like, I'm playing with this dude at the Starbucks, man. You wouldn't believe the stuff we're going through. And he would run through like 20 lines. And he was like, by the time I leave there, the guys in the back are dying. They're on the floor.
He's like, no, I don't want to know it's dad.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious. Anyway,
right, so back to the Burgerfi Burger, in my opinion, is one of the top burgers I've ever had as far as like a fast food kind of like burger place.
So what's it similar to, like burger style?
To me, it's very similar to what we had in New York when we were for Rodney's wedding, the Burger Shack or the Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. It's
very similar to that.
So it's a sirloin and kind of, but crispy patty.
Right. It's got a little bit of texture to it. It doesn't have too much salt. It's not over seasoned. They let the meat come out. I mean, it's just, in my opinion, it's a really, really good burger.
I see at Myrtle Beach, a lot of people are crazy about Whataburger, and
the Whataburger's only in Texas.
Or what's the one where you build your own?
Oh, Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers. Yeah, people are crazy about Fuddruckers.
Now listen, Fuddruckers is a fantastic burger because you get to build all your own toppings and all that.
But is it?
But the burger itself is just a plain 80-20 ground chuck.
Right.
Burger.
Right. I mean, I can make a better burger here at my house. What pisses me off is when you finally become an adult and learn how to cook better than the places you go out to eat, and you go out and you pay money for something, and you're like, this is the best you could do? I mean, come on, guys. All you had to do is a little bit of seasoning. Temp your meat just a little bit. Pay attention to what you're cooking. I don't know. Maybe give a crap.
I made wings here the other night that were better than any wings I've had at any place ever in Myrtle Beach.
I mean, and that's the thing is, like,
not just treadle wings. They were just regular wings.
You got to go. My opinion is you got to go to like a mom and pop's place because they actually care about what they're doing. When you go to a chain, which is rare that you would say that Burgerfi is fantastic because it is a chain. But you kind of expect to go to a chain and go, this is okay. On the exception, okay, if we're counting like in the fast food realm, I would say that Hardee's is the one that steps above all the other fast food chains because Hardee's kind of went the other direction when Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's was going the dollar menu and healthy options. Hardee's is like, nah, we're going to give you a third quarter pound and we're going to make you wait for it. And it's going to be this freaking big. And you're going to be like, holy crap, that's a big burger. And you're going to have to wait for it. And you're going to want it. And it is good as a fast food burger.
I agree with you, but if I were going to go for a fast food burger outside of BurgerFi, which is the first time I've been to BurgerFi in about 2 years, so I was really excited about it, and that's why I was late, I would go Five Guys.
Well, see, I don't qualify them as fast food. Even
you don't consider it fast food?
To me, it's a step up. It's a moderate level burger.
Okay. All right. Well, then BurgerFi is not fast food. Then BurgerFi is kind of like a Five Guys. I mean, they cook it to order. It's not pre-made. I mean, it's good.
I would put Five Guys in that category of the moderate level burgers.
Okay,
Of course,
well
you can go to like high end restaurants and order a burger, and you're like,
BurgerFi belongs in that category. That's where BurgerFi belongs.
Okay,
just like Shake Shack.
Okay, that's fair. In-N-Out would
So,
be in that category, in my opinion. I don't think In-N-Out.
I've never been to In-N-Out. I've wanted to go to In-N-Out. I've heard all these great things, but at the same time, I've heard it's not so great.
If In-N-Out was here, I would say that In-N-Out would top Hardee's as a fast food. I think it's a fast food place. But they do stuff that like Five Guys does. They get their potatoes, they make their own fries. It's just a step above. See, that step above is that thing that matters.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's the main thing with BurgerFi. I mean, they're using homemade potatoes, make homemade fries.
Now, that being said, McDonald's has taken notice recently. I think it's within the last 2 years. They've actually come out and their quarter pounder is now made with only fresh meat. So
it's not horse meat anymore.
It's fresh. It's not frozen. So their quarter pounder,
we worked there.
Their quarter pounder now is fresh only, and that McDonald's that's next to Coastal Carolina is probably the best quarter pounder I've ever had.
Really?
It looks like the picture. It tastes better than any quarter pounder I've ever had, and it's consistent. I've gone there for years, and they've always had the best. So that's near you. I highly recommend going by there and checking out their quarter pounder.
I will have to check that one out. Now, on that case of McDonald's, I actually had right now because we're still, well, technically Easter's over, so I guess we're out of the fish thing. But I had a friend of mine that I met that from New England. The fish sandwich at McDonald's is actually really quality fish fillet.
What?
It is. I thought the same. I agree. He swears up and down that is a 100% quality New England like haddock fish fillet. Like it is primo fish.
Okay.
For a fish sandwich. It's not minced. It's not some crappy white fish.
I'm not against it, but like when we worked there,
I'm never going to eat it anyway. But those people who do eat fish sandwiches like that, I highly recommend. Apparently, the McDonald's fish sandwich is a proper sandwich.
Okay.
So,
well, whatever. I'm not eating it. I mean, I do eat it from time to time. Like it's one of those things. Maybe once every 2 years, I'll be like, "Let me order a fish sandwich." Sure, why not?
I've never ordered a fish sandwich from McDonald's, and I never will. But those who do, just check it out. See if I'm right. See if he's right.
I don't know how we started talking about burgers and all of a sudden turned on to this point.
Well, I don't know. It's a weird day, man. It's a weird day for me. I mean, I got all kinds of craziness going on in my head. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, man, you're juggling lots of balls. I don't know if you want to get into that, but
we'll get into it. I don't have a problem with it if you want to talk about it.
You're delving into a new adventure. You have a new opportunity.
I'm transitioning. I was working at the Melting Pot as a manager, but it was more back of the house focused. And as much as I can do that, and I did the job well, it wasn't exactly what I want to do with my career. I'm more front of the house focused. So a buddy of mine that I used to work with over at the Embassy Suites, the Hilton property, he's now the general manager at the restaurant on property at this new RV park that just got built about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, out on Highway 90. Very nice RV park. Very nice. And I interviewed for a supervisor position because he was moving to general manager, but corporate told him that they didn't have the sales right now to warrant another supervisor and a chef, and they needed a chef more. So they said, unfortunately, we couldn't offer you that position. I said, I understand. I said, but we don't want to lose you as a candidate. So what we're willing to do is we want to offer you a full-time bartending position. You're making minimum wage, $7.25, not bartender minimum wage, plus your tips, plus we're going to give you full benefits. And then at the end of season, they are expanding all of their bars and restaurant and kiosks, and they're going to need a bar supervisor / bar manager. And I've already been identified as that candidate. So this is just hold me over till they get that position open corporately.
Okay. That's until this podcast blows up and you're the next Joe Rogan, right?
Well, I'm never going to ever be Joe Rogan. You're the more Joe Rogan than me.
You could be my Brian Red Band. We'll come up with merch.
Hey, we got the name.
Yeah.
J2J.
So my buddy Danny McWilliams was the bartender out at King Hefe. He just changed jobs. He's now doing construction. He was like, I saw an opportunity and I did this on the side whenever times got lean during COVID, and I realized that this is a good move for me, so I'm going to take it, and that's cool. He started up a new podcast, all revolving around a game that's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons with like a book and dice and that kind of stuff. And he's playing it online with people. It's called the Sonderlings Podcast. It's pretty cool. But he and I've been talking a lot about mental health and about, getting proper mental health and getting the tools that you need. I got a phone call from my oldest recently, and there's a lot going on there. And I kind of mentioned, maybe it's time to talk to somebody about what's going on because it doesn't hurt. I have random friends that are trained therapists. I have friends that are going to therapy on a regular basis. And, I just kind of want to throw out there once in a while on the podcast that if anybody out there is, dealing with a lot of issues, especially, with COVID and with the changing of things going on. And right now, the people who are working way harder than they've ever worked before because there's a lot of people hiring. There's a lot of opportunity all of a sudden. And there are jobs out there. I mean, if you want to change jobs, right now is the time. CDL is a big area. I mean, my company alone, go online to pfgc.com and look up careers in your area. And I'm telling you, in Florence alone, we need 15 to 20 drivers right now. And that's not just us. That's across the board. Every trucking company that I know, everybody that has left us to go to other companies are saying that they're hiring too. And if you got a CDL, let me tell you, right now it's a job market, whatever you want. And it's an opportunity.
And if you're in the restaurant business, come to Myrtle Beach, you get hired immediately.
And if you need some mental health care, reach out to somebody. And listen, right now, there's a lot of these places that will see you pro bono because they have a certain amount that they have to do pro bono to write off on their taxes, but also they get government assistance to help you out. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't have the money, but you need proper mental health, be sure to do that. I mean, that's just for anybody out there listening that's going through some stuff. And if you don't have the desire to want to do that, I mean, talk to a friend, talk to a loved one, talk to a pastor, talk to a coach, talk to a teacher, whatever your situation is, find somebody to talk to. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know a lot of people are going through a lot of crap, and, it always helps to have somebody to talk to. And I did a podcast last week by myself, and I kind of did a shout out and a thank you to you and to Greg and Danny and everybody who's been a part of this and this injury to kind of help me stay sane during all of this. I mean, it looks like I'm going to be going back to work soon.
But 2040 is still good enough to drive, right?
Yeah. I can see. I mean, right now I can actually read your name on my computer and it's like, tiny. I mean, that's good.
I can't even read that.
I can read the thing across the room, and they lived happily ever after. It's a little blurry, but I can read it. I mean, but it's good enough to drive, and it's good, I watched the video on that.
I'm sure they're ready for you to come back. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure you're going to be balls busy.
Well, here's the thing is I go see the doctor on Monday, and I think he's going to release me to go back to work, and I can go back to work Tuesday. So next week may be a full week for me, maybe Tuesday through Friday. So I don't know when we're going to do. I mean, I know this is kind of weird because it coincides with our wanting to do the 300th and do something special. But how about this? How about instead of for the 300th, we do it for the next anniversary of the podcast? Because May
something, right?
Yeah, May something is
not too far
anniversary.
Not too far from your birthday, right?
I think it's like the 13th or something like that. I have to look it up. But it's the 3 year. I mean, we could do something for that. Because I know you got a lot going on with starting a new job, and I'm going to be going back to work, and it's a lot of chaos going on. Plus, I don't know if you've watched anything on Instagram, but I'm repainting the entire house.
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah. Well, we talked about that as well the other day.
So room by room, this week we actually hired a guy here in Florence. His name is Lorenzo Garcia. And if anybody's interested, I'll post his phone number in this video at the bottom in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. But give him a shout out if you live in the Florence area, anywhere near Florence. He does mostly commercial real estate type stuff with stucco, stonework. But he also does, home renovation type stuff. I asked him, I said, do you do tile? And he said, oh, yeah, that's how I got my start. I was like, really? How about bathroom renos? He goes, oh, yeah, do those too. Bathroom, kitchen, whatever you want. And I was like, really? He goes, we do the painting on the side, just me and my wife, because it's something for us to do. She's really good at edging and stuff like that. And man, they knocked out these tallest rooms in 2 days, and it looks awesome. It looks great. They did a great job. They cleaned up after themselves. Everything looked fantastic. you know,
big shout out to him.
I'm going to give him a shout out, and he's got a Facebook page. I'm going to link him on the Facebook page because I want to make sure that people know to throw him some business. I mean, he deserves, you know, here's the thing is we talked about paint, and as he's going through the paint, like I went ahead and prepped the room. I took everything out of the room that I could. I covered as much as I could. I even went as far as to remove all of the plates, the outlet covers off the things. And I used a mop head and I wiped down the walls and the ceiling and just to get all the dust and cobwebs out of the way before it started. And
I went ahead and you're like the dream person to work for.
Oh yeah. So I went ahead and I patched up some of the holes that I wanted to patch up. And I said, you know, any of these that have the screw in them, just leave that because we're going to put stuff right back where it goes. And he's like, no problem. He found a few places that I missed that needed to be kind of touched up, and he went ahead and fixed those too. And we had him do the ceiling in the kitchen because we had some damage during Hurricane Michael where water had dripped through. We had the shingles repaired, and we had that repaired with some kills, and we repainted it. I repainted it, but most people who came over couldn't even tell that we'd done it. But Dolores and I, we'd walk in and our eyes would just look at it and be like, it was like the thing that we know is always there. We'd be talking to people and our eyes would just randomly glance up and look at it and be like, oh God, why do I notice that? But anyway, so we had him paint the ceiling. And while he was painting the ceiling, he noticed a couple of places that where it looked like the drywall had nail holes coming through it. And he's like, what's this? And I went, yeah, that was me. He was like, what? I said, the attic's up here, and I put flooring down, and I wasn't thinking about it. And my wife was like, stop. You're coming through and he goes, oh, okay. So while he was up there painting, he just went ahead and fixed those spots. I mean, he did a lot of stuff that I didn't really ask him to do, but he was like, listen, I got pride in my work, and I want people to look at my work and go, hey, you did a great job. He goes, yeah, it's no problem. So we had negotiated down the price, and then after he got done, I've kind of threw him a little extra cheddar to say thank you for the extra work. And he's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. I was like, no, I want to say thank you. And he's like, I appreciate it. He's like, you know, anytime you need anything done, because I'd asked him, you know, I said, maybe next year we'll do some tile work in the kitchen or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll do the bathroom in a year or two. He's like, cool. Just let me know. So, you know, again, a big shout out to Lorenzo Garcia. He does a great job. They did the stucco work on the front of our house last year, and it was fantastic. And I'm going to promote him. So, you know, throw some love out there. Here's what it is. It's stuff I heard. You can tell people, hey, I heard this on this Stuff I Heard podcast, y'all. So anyway, have you been watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I have watched until today's episode. I'm up to current to today. I haven't watched it yet.
Me too. So I mean, we can get into it because I mean,
well, I wasn't sure what I was. It was kind of like the first episode. I was like, really, what are they going to go with this? Where are they going with this?
Well, kind of like WandaVision.
Okay. Well, now WandaVision, I kind of felt like I saw where it was going to go eventually. I didn't know how great it was going to be actually, but I saw it going somewhere with that.
Yeah.
This one, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Episode 2, a little bit better.
Yeah.
3 was awesome.
3 was awesome.
3 made me ready for 4.
So Kevin Feige, just like Jon Favreau, never throws away a character. Okay.
Right.
There's always a reason that you see people, and people are always going to come up later. And I've watched a lot of fan theories on this, you know, idea that some doctor is behind this whole thing, and it's going to turn out to be the same doctor who apparently came up with the serum for the Hulk. They're going to bring that guy into it. He's going to be this power broker guy. That's the theory. I don't know if that's really going to pan out, but I noticed in the credits in the first episode, remember when they run up on that really big dude and he throws the guy? So the big dude with the mask with the hand on it, the credits started rolling in the beginning, and I noticed one of the names. It was George St. Pierre. He's a UFC fighter, a former UFC champion, I should say. He held the belt in 2 different weight categories and was just unbeatable. And then finally he just retired. He was like, yeah, nobody can beat me. I think I'm done. He just retired. He's a really nice guy. He recently was on.
I'm familiar with the name. I don't watch a lot of the UFC stuff like you do.
He goes by the name GSP. People call him GSP for short. But he just ragdolls everybody he fights against. And he's retired now, but he's doing movies and he's doing stunt work and stuff. But his name popped up, and I was like, that's George St. Pierre. Oh, this is going to be great because he's going to come up later. Like you're going to see him without the mask on, and he's going to be kicking somebody's butt, and it's going to be him. He recently did an interview with or a podcast with Joe Rogan. I saw it on the thing. I didn't watch it, but I just saw it on the lineup, and I was like, oh, I bet he's talking about being in this show. This is going to be kind of cool because he's not going to give anything away, but he's going to be like, it's going to be good, man. You know, little teaser.
Just watch. Keep watching.
Yeah. So I'm excited about some of these UFC fighters like coming into this, you know, media that we're into and, you know, being a part of this because a lot of them are just really nice people that, you know, got into fighting as like a way to do something with their life. And then it's like, okay, how do I transition this to something else? And, you know, if you're looking for an action star, you want somebody that kind of knows what they're doing. And this guy definitely knows what he's doing. Like Gina Carano. I mean, you want somebody who has that presence of, I can kick your butt if I really want to, you know, but also like, here's some moves we can do that's, you know, going to be safe.
For they also have stage presence as well. I mean, like, you know, I mean, yes, I mean, I know UFC is much more realistic than like wrestling, but they're still on stage and they have a persona a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if Conor McGregor ever decides to stop doing the UFC, I mean, he would be so much fun as like a wrestler, like a WWE wrestler, or
he would be fantastic bringing in his fucking whiskey.
Yeah, or they could bring him in.
Proper 12.
They could teach him how to be an actor, like give him some acting lessons or something, and bring him into like Peaky Blinders as like one of the thugs that they have to deal with in that show on Netflix. I mean, I could just see him as a gangster. You know, that there's a lot of ways you could spin some of these people into this kind of stuff. I mean, Ronda Rousey, we've seen her make the move.
She was in the Expendables 3.
Yep. She also did one of the Fast and Furious movies.
She did the last Fast and Furious one. She played the security guard for the Sheik or something like that.
And she's doing the WWE wrestling stuff now, which is cool. I mean, everybody respects her. And it's like, okay, you know, there is a reality that you can only get kicked in the head so many times, and at a certain point, you got to find something else to do. I mean, thank God.
Isn't that Joe Rogan's thought process?
Yep. Joe Rogan said he got kicked in the head one too many times, and they were on the bus, and his buddy goes, "Listen, you're too funny to be kicked in the head all the time. You need to be doing something else. How about try that comedy thing?" And he was like, "That's a good idea." He said, "Thank God I listened to my friend."
And his whole world changed because of it. I mean, he's a rock star because of it.
Well, you know,
sometimes you got to listen to that inner voice like your mom just told me. Yeah.
You gotta feed the fire and hope that it's a good fire. I mean, you know, Rogan talks about the fact that he's like, listen, I'm obsessive compulsive. It just so happens that my obsessions people deem as healthy. He's like, I've had a lot of obsessions that are not healthy. I was in the pool way too much. I used to play pool a ridiculous amount of time. He's like, because I started playing Doom and lost years of my life playing Doom. He goes, but now I'm into jujitsu and bow hunting and this podcasting and comedy, and people are like, oh, those are healthy obsessions. Good for you. And I'm like,
yeah, but it's still
it could just easily be this other stuff.
I mean, but at the same time, I mean, obsession is bad in general. I mean, you need a balance, but I think he's actually got a balance now. I don't think he has.
It is important to have a balance. Absolutely.
He learned how to have a balance with all those things. So he doesn't have an obsession anymore. He learned how to create the balance.
And that balance, I mean, I think that balance comes from jiu-jitsu and the fact that he's been disciplined enough to know that he can be choked out at any moment. Doesn't matter the size of the person that he's up against or the quality of their education. Somebody could get a lucky move and all of a sudden you're on the mat and you're having to tap out because it's like, okay, he goes, those humbling moments are what makes you realize, you know, your own humility, your own humanity. And I think that's what's kept him grounded the most during all of this, because it doesn't matter what level of fame he supposedly gets. When he goes to the gym, they don't look at him as that famous guy. They look at him as the guy, oh, I got to spar against this guy. God, I hate his freaking leg kicks. I hope he don't kick me. and they may choke him out, you know, and he may have to tap out, you know, and but it just, there's a lot of people that tend to let things in life inflate their egos to the point that they can't relate to people. They can't humanize themselves. They can't, you know, find some common ground.
I don't see him like that at all. He's still a voice of the people as well.
Absolutely.
Even though he may be one of the most famous people on earth at this point, he's interviewed people that nobody ever would have thought they could have gotten an interview with him. But he's
Yeah.
just still just a regular guy, man. He walks down the street and he recognizes people. He gets starstruck.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did an interview I watched yesterday with Jim Breuer. Jim Breuer is a hilarious comedian. They got started around the same time. And, you know, Joe said, I think you're my oldest in comedy friend that I've had. We started together and, you know, they apparently did a show called Hardball at one time together where Joe was like supposed to be the athlete or whatever. And Jim Brewer was supposed to be the mascot of the opposing team. And they just bantered each other on and on. And, you know, now they're seasoned veteran comedians and they've, you know, had families and, you know, real life happen and all kinds of stuff happen. And it's sort of enriched their education as to who they are and who they are to each other. And it's a mutual respect, you know, but it's like, he was talking about getting to meet the Maynard from Tool. And he was like, you know, I'm a big fan of Tool. And, you know, here he is in my studio. And like, next thing I know, we're hanging out and he's inviting me to come to his winery in Arizona. And I'm just like, I can't believe this is like my real life. This is so strange. But, you know, he talks about meeting different, you know, people that he deems as heroes, you know, talking about science with Neil deGrasse Tyson or with Elon Musk, you know, about the next phase of humanity.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, and he's like, because Jim asked him, he said, what have you learned? What guests have you learned the most from? And he said, all of them, every one of them. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be my stupid friends who have, you know, funny stuff to say or interesting ways to look at things. And all of that informs you. And that's true. I mean, we're all guilty of that. You know, I heard Tim Tebow ask one time that had an interview. They said, how do you feel about being a role model for a lot of people? And he said, everybody's a role model, whether you realize it or not. If you come into contact with someone, they're taking bits of you and they're either shaping themselves to be like you or to not be like you. We're all role models. We just don't realize it. He said, the fact that you just happen to know my name just is because I'm out here. God gave me some gifts and I've worked with what I had and I'm blessed. And he's like, but there's no difference between you and me. You could do the same thing if you had been built like this and you put in the work. And he goes, but everybody you come into contact with, there are people that would say you're a role model, either positive or negative. You're a role model. And that's the truth.
I can vouch for that right here, right now. I mean, you were a role model for me.
There's a lady that I met one time who was, I don't know what she was on, some kind of drugs. In standing in the drive-through of a restaurant in Charleston and had a 40 in her hand, was drinking and peeing through her dress.
Oh, good Lord.
And no teeth. And I thought, my heart was broken because I thought that was somebody's little girl at one time. Someone was happy to see her born and, oh my God, I'm a little girl. And then what happened in her life to lead her to this point? She was a role model to me because in my head, I thought, I don't want to get that far. Like whatever happens in my life, that's a negative role model for what I want. But also like I have compassion for her because I wanted to help in some way, but I didn't know what to do, what to say.
Right. Because you don't know what got her there. And so you don't know
Yeah.
how anything you can do to maybe fix it or help fix it.
Yeah. And I mean, but it's those moments, you know, it makes me think about, I saw this thing. Sorry, this thing's bugging my foot. I saw this thing online this past week. It said it was like a poll for Sesame Street. I guess
I saw you shared that.
They're trying to figure out who watches their show or is it even viable anymore or whatever. And it said, what does Sesame Street mean to you growing up? Well, I'm 40. I'll be 47 soon. And I watched all of Sesame Street growing up until I was a teenager probably. And to me, Sesame Street was educational, it was entertainment, but it also taught me empathy to not care about if the person was black or white or Hispanic or if they lived in a trash can and was grouchy all the time. You learned as you watched the show that everybody cared about each other because it was part of their community. And that sense of community is kind of what rolled me into what I'm doing right now. That idea of it doesn't matter where you come from. Let's give everybody a voice. Let's talk about it. Let's find out what is the thing that makes you special and if I can do it, like, I don't know if I can, but if I can do it, I want to try to pull out the thing that I think is special and talk about it, because sometimes other people have a way of looking at things differently than you do. Like, to someone like Tim Tebow, who, again, is this athlete or whatever, and, was being questioned about being a role model. To him, he's like, no, let me deflect off me, because it's not about me. But I'm sure that he has friends next to him that are like, listen, you're really exceeding what a lot of people say you're able to do, what you should be able to do. And that's impressive. And we tend to do that with athletes, but not necessarily with normal folks. And so, like, one of my goals was to talk to as many people as I could on this podcast and say, hey, I appreciate the things that you're doing and these things that most people take for granted. This is really cool. To me, that's the tapestry. That's the interwoven fabric of life that makes it beautiful and makes it special. And, okay, so you may have a friend that obsessively counts to 11 or whatever. One, whatever. It's still, Sesame Street taught me that people matter, and even if they look like grouches or monsters, they can still be special. So, just wanted to say that.
Hey, look, I'm proud of what you're doing here, and I'm proud that you allow me to be a part of it and be part of that special thing that you're doing.
Listen, Snoop said it ain't no fun unless your friends have some. So,
hey, I sent that out the other day. I couldn't believe it was on XM radio, so I had to send that one out. It was XM for the win, baby.
See, I've been trying to get all of you guys to do your own podcast because I thought
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you. I was trying to be as positive as I could about your podcast without you bringing up the fact that you're trying to get us to do one.
I've been trying to get Greg is the only one that did it, and he, was it September since the last one he did one?
Well, listen, he's also an infectious disease.
Yeah, real life, blah, 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 saving the world.
There's a worldwide pandemic going around that he might not have a little extra time, to,
No, that bitch is playing Animal Crossing.
Well, so are you.
Yeah, but I can't go to work right now. I mean, when I go to work, it's going to be hard to play Animal Crossing. How you gonna fix your time when you go back to work to do Animal Crossing and the podcast? I don't know.
Are you gonna play Animal Crossing while you do the podcast?
Listen, he and I had a conversation about, or maybe it was you and I had a conversation about the war of art. And it talks about the thing that you are compelled to do is your art. And if you want your art to succeed, you have to go to war for it. You have to sacrifice, you have to plot, you have to scheme, you have to plan, you have to, whatever it is, the thing that you want to do is what you're doing. I unconsciously make a choice, or consciously make a choice, to do the podcast over playing Animal Crossing because I'm a podcaster. Okay. I'm a trainer at work. I'm a podcaster at home. Well, I'm a husband. There's a pecking order.
There's many hats you wear. There's many hats you wear.
But Animal Crossing is going to come towards the bottom of things that are important to me. Okay. It is kind of cool. It's fun to play, but
it was good for your time while you had nothing going on.
If I have a choice of something to skip, I'm not going to skip this.
I got you.
Because this is what I committed to. For whatever reason, no one holds me accountable. No one's like, hey, where's the other one, dude? Why can't I hold myself accountable? And that accountability is what matters to a lot of people. A lot of people hear the fact that I say, I'm going to do, like when I said I'm going to do 2 a week, I did 2 a week for 2.5 years until the injury. And the only reason I backed off was because I just had nothing to talk about twice a week. I was just like, I mean, during coronavirus, I think I did some weeks I did 4 or 5 a week. I was just like cranking them out. I was like, I got nothing to do. Let's turn the cameras on, baby. Whatever. We can talk about it. Let's have fun. But whatever the thing is that you feel passionate about, you're going to do, right?
Right.
So if you, I don't know, let's just throw something obscure out there. If you started underwater welding on the side and you're like, I really enjoy this underwater welding. If I couldn't get you on for the podcast, you'd be like, yeah, but I got to go water. I got to weld underwater. You're like, okay, that'd be your thing. Whatever that thing is, that'd be your thing, right?
Yeah.
I said obscure.
First off, I don't do water. Secondly, I don't do welding. So but no,
I could say you're.
I know where you're going with that. I get that.
I could come up with something like you're 3D printing, adult toys or something.
Well, there you go.
There's a market for that too, apparently. So. Oh, I don't know if I sent you a video, but I watched this TikTok of a guy who's 3D printing Boba Fett and Mandalorian helmets. And I was like, what? And he had he had this rack. He goes, check this out. And they're nonstop. He had I don't know, 9 of them. And they're nonstop printing out 3D printed helmets. And he's painting them and he's shipping them out just as fast as he can. And he's like, I'm just printing money, baby. And I was like,
yeah. I mean, you see something like that makes you understand, okay, a $5,000 price tag on a 3D printer, but guess what? If you could do,
he spent $300.
$300.
Yes.
On a decent 3D printer. Wow, I thought they were like $5,000.
Listen, it's like anything else. The more that's out there, the lower the prices go.
Well, I get that, but I thought it was still almost I knew there were crappier ones out there, but not something like that quality for $300.
He broke it down. He showed his equipment, where he bought it from, how much it cost each. He goes, $300 in, and I'm printing money, baby. And I was like, dude, holy crap. Holy crap. I watched a guy this morning who's 3D printing kyber crystals to put in people's lightsabers. Yeah. He's even putting in a little diode on the inside so that when you turn it on, it says something kind of unique. And I'm like, holy, that's an electronic engineer who's like, I kind of enjoy Star Wars. Let me see if I can make one of these.
Wow.
I mean, listen, this is one of the best times in the world to live because there is all kinds of things you can do if you just show an interest and go down the rabbit hole. People are sharing people who are successful love to share what they do.
Well, that's like the guy who built the actual true lightsaber, but it was a plasma torch basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was freaking ridiculous.
There's a guy I watch on YouTube called Star Wars IKR in real life, or IRK in IRL, Star Wars IRL. And he makes he shows how he makes lightsabers from scratch. The first one that he built was Ezra Pritchard's.
Oh, the gun.
It looks awesome. I mean, it's really cool. But he breaks down the electronics of how he built it and what it means and how to use different tubes to make different things. And I was just like, dude, thank God there are people out there that are just so knowledgeable and nerdy enough to go, all right, I'll go down the rabbit hole. Sure, why not? So
it's like you with your furniture.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you started with no knowledge whatsoever. You just decided you wanted to do something, and then now you have a podcast studio with chairs and tables that you built.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's a find a need, fill a need. I forget what movie that's from, but there was some movie that's like in life, you got to find a need and fill a need. That's what it's all about. I tried to point that out to my kids, and they were like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, not whatever. It's kind of missing the point. But anyway, so we totally got off the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, we did kind of go on a tangent there.
Sorry, but, this is ADHD sponsored podcast.
Look at the bunny.
Oh, shiny. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot going on with this new Captain America guy and the black dude that they came into contact with, the old guy, Isaiah.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a behind the scenes where apparently whenever Captain was in cryo freeze, he was the black Captain America during that time. Like they did experiments on these black soldiers, and that was part of the comic book series. Like he was a hero. And then whenever supposedly whatever war was over with, they captured him and threw him in prison and then did experiments on him and drew blood from him. And apparently his blood is why they made the super serum. So he's a little upset about it. And he's also super strong, even though he looks like he's a little bit older now.
Yeah, he's still a badass.
Yeah, he's still, and he may come up later.
He will come back later, without a doubt. He's going to be a major factor, I do believe.
And his kid, or his was it grandson, opened the door, or nephew?
I'm guessing his grandson.
He apparently becomes a superhero also called the Patriot.
Okay.
I saw I saw more than one clip that showed him in costume, and I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." Again, no wasted characters.
I'm just curious where they're going to go with the female character.
The redhead chick, yeah, Kylie or Kyrie or whatever her name is. She, this is stuff I heard, not stuff I know. Go to another podcast for that one. Yeah. The minute I saw her on screen, I go, "Oh wait, that's the chick from Han Solo." Remember when the zealots capture them for their crystals that they caught,
Right.
and she takes off the helmet? That's her. That's the same girl. I was like,
Okay.
dude, okay, because red hair, kind of cool, very cool. I thought before episode 3, I thought that it was going to be that she was actually a good guy, and there was going to be a bigger bad guy that they all had to work together to try and beat. But after episode 3, and she killed all those people, I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this is going to turn really bad really quick. So yeah, I think she's a really cool actress. I think you're going to see her in a lot more stuff coming up. The fact that we haven't up until now is really surprising. I mean, I don't know how she tests on camera or whatever, but when I saw her on Han Solo, I was like, immediately I thought, oh, this chick's going to be a star. Like, she just has that look. I don't know what it is about her. Plus, with the British accent.
Well, you those who know you are in the know that you kind of have a little thing for redhead.
I can spot talent in actors and actresses. I mean, some people have it and some people don't. I think that she had it in the beginning. There are certain actors that don't have it. Like the guy that's playing Captain America right now, Kurt Russell's kid.
Wyatt,
whatever.
Whatever's his last name.
Russell?
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah. So I believe him as a hockey player. Do I believe him as an actor playing Captain America? No.
No, he's really not good at it.
Now, he was in a Black Mirror episode that he was really good in. I remember that. I was like, because I actually looked him up back then. I was like, who is this guy? He was good in that. And I don't know if he's playing this on purpose the way he's playing it, but
I think he is, because it's going to turn that he's going to be a bad guy.
I think he's going to turn bad.
I think they're going to turn him to a guy. He's not going to be bad, but he's going to go over and above what the position calls for to try to get it done.
You're seeing that in episode 3, where he's getting more and more aggressive, and he's going off book, and even his companion buddy, Master Sergeant or Captain or whatever his rank is, the guy that's with him, he has even a stupid name. Yeah. He has a stupid code name. He's like, I'm the blah, blah, blah. And Winter Soldier's like, all right, let me out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm not a part of this. Like, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, it's, he's sort of checking in with him. Like, this isn't really what we're supposed to be doing. So I don't know. I think that they're going to have to fight him at some point. And I think that Falcon is going to realize that he's going to have to take the shield from him.
Yeah, but that's not going to be, it's going to be Bucky. I mean, he's already said, if I have to, I will forcefully take that shield from him.
Well, I know, like, I have comic book buddies that say that in the comics, both of them at some point carry the shield.
They share the shield, yeah.
Yeah. So there may be that may be why this series is happening the way it's happening, so that you can see them at conflict with each other, and at a certain point they're working together, and they realize, oh, like, we're sort of the best parts of Steve without actually being Steve. I mean, right. There's no doubt about the fact that
Steve lives in both of them.
Yeah.
Both in good ways and some bad ways.
I mean, the Winter Soldier and him were best friends from the 30s. They grew up together. They went to war together. It just so happens that, Steve ended up getting the super serum and became a total badass. But meanwhile, the Falcon is...
So did Bucky. I mean, technically, he got it from the Hydra side.
Right. But I'm saying they were best buddies. Like, they came up together. They were, even though Bucky got mind washed and, turned into this evil guy for a while, there is the turn of the Falcon being basically everything good about what Steve thought Captain America should be.
Right. I mean, and that's the reason why he gave him the shield.
But he doesn't have the super serum to be invincible. But he's a total badass within his own right. I mean, so
right. So the two of them together can create a new Captain America, like Steve Rogers.
And the end of season 3 or episode 3 had the girl from Wakanda, and when he finds her from those little black things, he knows it's her immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knew she was the one that was tracking them.
Oh yeah, he knew immediately.
So when he turns around, he goes, "I was wondering when you were going to show up." Like he knew it was her, and she's
after the Baron.
So there's more to. We're going to find out why they called him the White Wolf. We're going to find out his relationship, and I think there's going to be a relationship between him and her, where you're going to find out that he and her have a relationship, and that he means something to the people of Wakanda. And
he does
and
mean something.
They definitely mean something to him, because without them, he wouldn't be who he is now, and he definitely wouldn't have the arm. I mean, I've heard it theorized that his arm is like their top tier.
Their top tier. Like
their technology is it's
beyond anything any mortal knows.
Right. It's like their best achievement is his arm. So there's some. I don't know if it's going to be that some duty is owed or whatever. But also, what's the guy's name? Zeb. What's the guy? Who's she after? They got him out of prison.
The Baron.
Baron Zeb or Zeke or something like that.
Zephyrin or something like that.
Zephyrin. I don't know. I should have wrote it down.
But yeah, I know who you're talking about. But yeah.
Okay, so he's the bad guy you hate that you actually like.
Pretty much.
He's entertaining to say the least. But he's also the reason for, the Black Panther movie. He was the bad guy in the Black Panther movie. He was the reason that the Falcon was turned into the Falcon, or the Winter Soldier was turned into the Winter Soldier. I mean, he's the bad guy, but he's also kind of smooth talking and kind of fun, and
yeah,
he's helping him out right now, and it's a little humorous. I mean, so anyway, a lot of good stuff in it, a lot of good one-liners, a lot of good jokes between the cast and the fans.
I really love the banter between Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean,
I do too.
Their distrust and hate and their hate of each other.
Yeah,
is actually going to create a bond that makes them actually really good friends.
Well, and Bucky said it best when they were sitting there having a face to face with each other. He's like, the fact that you turned down the shield means that you don't believe Steve had faith in you. And if you didn't have faith that he had faith in you, then what makes anybody think that they have faith in me? Like that was real pivotal.
Profound. Very profound.
And he's right. And I mean, what's interesting is through all of that, like you see comments from people, like different cast members apparently have been on social media saying that working with Anthony Mackie and the guy who's playing Bucky, Sebastian Stan, that working with them is like working with another level of actor. Like they're both, just amazing to watch work together. And a big shout out to Sebastian Stan, who may end up turning out to be a young Luke Skywalker when they revamp all of this, because there's a lot of people that are rooting for him to be the young Luke Skywalker. He does look like him a lot, especially in some of the photos they've taken with him. And he apparently reached out on social media to Mark Hamill and was like, I am not going to play this role unless Mark Hamill says he's okay with it. And so Mark Hamill wrote back and said, I have nothing to do with casting, but I think you're pretty awesome. They've never asked me my opinion, but I kind of like you, So it was kind of a nice little nod to each other, of hey, this is a weird period to me. I can't be you, but also like I respect you kind of deal, No,
it's complete total respect. And I mean, that even makes you even like the guy even more.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm wearing this Mandalorian shirt, and you see who's in it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm wearing?
I do. So I went to the grocery store to get some groceries this morning, and this kid may have been, I don't know, 8, and he's helping his dad. His dad's, the bread guy, and he's putting bread on shelves, and the kid apparently has spring break, so he's spending the day with dad, and he's like helping his dad put one loaf at a time on the shelf, and he goes, "Oh, look, Dad, Mandalorian." He goes, "Oh, and it's Boba Fett." I was like, come on, give some pound.
There you go, baby. Teach them right. Bring them up young and teach them right.
It's kind of a funny little moment there. I was like, that's all right. I dig it.
All right. So I've held off long enough. I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think that they? All right, we're gonna switch complete gears, and I'm gonna throw it into you real fast.
Okay.
Lovecraft Country. They expected season 2. Did they end it knowing that there was going to be another one, and it ended up not being another one?
I don't know. I think that they fully prepared.
I feel like it ended kind of weird.
I think that they fully prepared for second season because if you look online, there is a Lovecraft Country podcast. It is people dedicated to the show who have created a podcast while the show is going on so that they could geek out and talk about each episode. So shout out to them. If you want to check that out, listen, go deep dive, baby. But like everybody else, when Corona hit, production shut down everywhere. So the only projects that were getting made during Corona was the projects that could be done either animated or where they could live in a bubble, or kind of like Mama Rainey's Black Bottom. It was done like a play. It was on a closed set where you only use one scene for 30 minutes of their scene. And then it's a way they can break down production and kind of control everybody to make sure that they're tested and healthy and not come into contact with each other, and everybody can be social distance enough. And there's this whole thing of trying to film during coronavirus. And I really hope they come back with more Lovecraft Country because, I mean, was I wrong? Every episode is like doubling down even more. I
gotta say, at a certain point, it almost got to a point where I thought it was a little too weird. Like it got to a point where I'm like, where in the world did they come out with this idea? Like
when she went into multiverse.
The multiverse was big, but those creepy little girls.
Yes.
Those were some of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life.
I was sitting there with my shirt. I was like,
those were freaking creepy little girls. Like when I was a kid, I used to couldn't stand the two little twins in The Shining.
Yeah.
These were The Shining on acid.
Yeah. My brother and I have a theory that any movie that has creepy little girls in it is a terrifying movie, no matter what it is. They were creepy, man. Yeah.
They freaked me out.
Not only that, but if you want to like wig me out, have one of those slow motion things where they zip around and like start walking backwards and crazy shit like that. And I'm just like, ah. Yeah, but they were doing stuff like walking, with their bent backwards and coming out like, no, I'm out.
Doing the spider crawl and I mean, just weird, freaky little things.
And she could see them, but nobody else could see them. And it had a tie-in to do with voodoo. And I was just like, God, there's so much going on. I mean, every episode was just so much more. And the Eve was also Adam. How freaky was that?
I mean, just
without the jaw-dropping moment too.
I just that final episode, I just did not know what to do.
I don't think she killed the girl. I don't think Eve killed her.
You don't think so?
They didn't show it.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think they set it up for a second season, and just because we hit COVID, we didn't get it. And I'm hoping that we do get it, because I mean, I need some conclusion. There's a few other things that need to be.
The girl who was shape-shifting and was having sex with Adam, and then with Eve at that last scene, and then was supposedly going to double cross her to save her family. She shows up in disguise and it's Eve, and you're like, what? And oh yeah, I killed her. No, you didn't. We didn't see that part. I think she actually fell in love with her, but they don't show that. The fact they didn't show it means she's still alive. I'm telling you, she's still alive, baby.
I guess we're going to find out at some point, because they will release it. I know they have to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be, if there's a podcast dedicated to just season 1.
Yeah. You got to check it out.
They've got to have the following.
Hey, do that. Do the homework. Listen to it and tell me what it's like, because I'm not going to listen to it. I got too many things going on. I'm renovating a house. I'm building furniture. I'm trying to figure out what NFTs are. I'm trying to create my online. Listen, there's a thing called Bitclout. I went down that wormhole. Oh my God.
Bitclout?
Bitclout. CLOUT. Bitclout. Don't go down a rabbit hole, because your mind is going to melt. I'm telling you. I've already been down it, and I feel like parts of me are starting to. Oh, the internet. The internet is powerful, man. You can make money.
I get it. I understand, but where, like, what made you look this up? Like, where did you hear it?
I don't know. I was trying to understand what NFTs are, which is non-fungible tokens, because Greg texted me from the top of a mountain.
Like Bitcoin.
No, NFT is artwork, digital artwork that you can sell. It is traded on the blockchain. So it has an origination, and it shows it's non-fungible, means it can't be duplicated. It has its own stamp and time to be original, and it can be bought and sold and traded. And because of blockchain, they can listen. It's mind melting just to understand that much. So Bitclout has to do with your online presence. There's parts of your online presence that you can sell. It's just, listen.
Okay, fair enough. I'm out.
I'll do homework on that, because Danny and I are on a project of trying to understand how to do it. There's some artwork that he's got that I'm trying to get him to put on NFTs, and I think there's a market for it. So yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm also painting the house and, going back to work.
Right, so you got a lot of balls in the air as well.
I'm juggling a lot of balls. Listen, this plate's on fire. This plate's got lasers. This plate's got sharks. There's sharks with lasers. There's sharks with
lasers. Yeah, sharks with lasers
and fire. There's all kind of chaos going on. And so, podcast.
Some very angry
Animal Crossing.
Some very angry sea bass.
It sounds like I'm managing schizophrenia in a way. And this podcast is my linear consciousness.
And now you're getting ready to go back to work on top of that.
Yes.
You're so excited about going back to work. It's so cute.
It's like walking into fire. It's gonna be hell immediately. I'm not in shape like I was. I got to get back into shape. I'm gonna have a lot of sore moments.
Yeah, because you're probably gonna be running a route for now because they need so many drivers versus just doing your training thing, right?
There's a good possibility. Yeah. We actually have brought in drivers from other opcos to try and help out with the demand of what we need to get done. I looked at the roster last night, and I was like, they had 14 extra routes scheduled just to help cover what was there, plus a truck going to the Masters. And I was just like, goodness gracious.
Whoa. Oh, that's right. That's right. The Masters is this week. So Monday is Monday after the Masters here.
And we had 3 Florence trucks, and it's just, but it's chaos, man. There's so much going on. Listen, go get it. People out there, go get a CDL. Forget college. Go get a CDL. Trust me. Just get a CDL.
I actually heard Walmart advertising on the radio for drivers.
Listen, my wife works for Nucor Steel. She says the flatbread drivers, they can't get enough flatbread drivers to come pick up the stuff they have to sell. They're having to turn down people's orders because there's not enough people coming to ship the product. They're like, if you want a flatbed, look us up. She's like, we got product to move, baby. We're selling it, but we can't move it. And that's across the board. That's everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I got buddies that work at FedEx. I got buddies that work at, here in Florence, we have this Palmetto Rescue that everybody's hiring. Everybody needs CDL drivers. ARD Trucking, McCall Farms, you name it. I mean, in this area, CDL, baby. Just, if you got a CDL and you can't find a job where you're at, move to Florence. I'm just saying.
That's about how I am with servers and bartenders here in Myrtle Beach.
And then get on Facebook and be like, is anybody hiring for CDL drivers? And you'll just be flooded with, yeah, come on. Signing bonuses here and there. Come on.
So someone just recently, in the last couple of months, created a page on Facebook called Myrtle Vegas. And
it's going to be Myrtle Vegas.
And it is basically nothing but I need help. Who's looking for a job? I mean, every single place from North Myrtle Beach all the way to Georgetown is like, just come in. You don't even have to fly. Just come in and I'll hire you on the spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I talked about the fact that there's a lot of the new hotels being built with floors that are empty with nothing but fiber optics because they're really trying to get legalized gambling. So it will be Myrtle Vegas.
It was supposed to have been here already. The original plan was with the
COVID,
Hard Rock Theme Park.
Yeah.
but because the economy dropped through the bucket at the time they opened that park, nothing worked out. That's why they haven't put anything in the old pavilion spot other than that zip line, because they want to put a casino right there.
Yep. And that old mall spot that they use for conventions.
Well, that mall, Donald Trump, Burroughs and Chapin owns that.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump and Vince McMahon both tried to buy that land from Burroughs and Chapin, and they wouldn't sell it to them because they know what it's going to be once they pass legalized gambling here. It's coming.
It's coming. Myrtle Vegas.
It is Myrtle Vegas. It's coming.
So you got to go, where do I want to be when this happens?
Not here.
Maybe selling real estate?
Yeah, but there's
commission checks raining down on my bald head. Oh, so beautiful.
That's great and all, but I don't like the.
You could have like a 72 Cadillac convertible and one of those big wide brim hats. And you just pull up and be like, hey, baby, we're selling Vegas. Who wants a house? Come on. Come talk to the J-Man. I got a place for you. You have a big cigar that's like this friggin' long, you know?
I'm going to stick with the RV people.
Okay, so I want to switch gears just a second. Boba Fett's eyepiece is on his right eye.
Yeah.
What if I had a corrective vision lens that I could just hit a button and Huh? What do you think?
Be like a cross between like Boba Fett and the Borg.
Yeah, like Elysium. I'd be I just have modifications, but mine would be the Boba Fett lens. You know, just it'd stand up like this most of the day, and I just go, hang on, let me focus in. And I have that little eyepiece.
Now, do you get the jetpack to go with it though?
God, I hope so. No, I want knee cannons. So when they think it's all over, we're like, oh yeah, surprise!
Here's some shots in your nuts from my knees.
That and the flamethrower is always cool. I mean, who doesn't want a flamethrower out of their arm? Deflect this, Jedi. I sent you that photo before we started this.
Okay, I saw it come through, but I hadn't looked at it yet.
Yeah, it's basically a Jedi or him fighting off Jedis with a flamethrower arm. It's like, yeah, you can block laser blasters. Good luck with this fire. Oh, good stuff.
Oh man.
All right, I need to wrap this up. I don't know when we're gonna do this again. We'll figure it out.
I know. We'll figure it out. We'll get it done. I'm according to my boss Jack, that's going to be my boss. He's also my friend. Supposedly they try to do schedules a month in advance at my job.
Okay.
So I should know what my schedule is for the next month within the next week.
Cool.
So we can try to pattern. Maybe, like I said, I would love to do nothing more than to be there live for either the 300th or the third year episode, one or the other.
Yeah. I don't know when the 300th is going to be. It's the next episode, so I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's like Dr. Dre, baby. The next episode.
Oh, the next episode. Oh, all I could think of was, you think I sold them all? It's like Dr. Dre. You think I sold them all? Amazon Prime has a show called Invincible. It's a cartoon. It's based on a comic book. It's really messed up, and I highly recommend watching it.
Okay. Apparently Big Mouth is coming out for a third season.
Good.
I heard that on the radio too.
Good. It's funny. It's really messed up and really funny.
Well, I like Mulaney a lot. I really do. I think he's fantastic. And
I'm still working.
Nick Kroll, him together with Nick Kroll is really good. And
Jenny Slate is hilarious too. I mean, there's a lot of good characters on the show. I'm working my way through Rick and Morty as well. I'm still on season.
Really?
I'm still watching a show here and there during the week, and it's so messed up, and I can't believe I didn't watch it till now.
I've heard things about it, but I've never watched it.
It's really messed up. It's so messed up.
Is it like Ren and Stimpy back when we were kids?
No, it's worse.
Because that was really messed up.
It's way worse. It's every obscure reference that you want to have in life and don't really want to say out loud. They just do it. They're just like, yeah, let's do. Well, this is a really messed up idea. Let's do it. You know. I just watched an episode where, okay, so his uncle, this guy's uncle is a mad scientist genius guy who can go into the multiverse and go back in time and all kind of crazy shit. You know, like a mad scientist would do. And meanwhile, this kid's in like middle school and he's trying to figure out life. And so he takes him on these adventures. And on this one particular adventure, they go to a planet and he's trying to get some replacement parts for some of his technology. And the kid sees a sex robot over in the corner. He goes, how about we get that one? That one's kind of shiny. And he's like, what? No, we don't need that. He's like, come on, get it. And he's like, fine, we'll take this and this and this and the sex robot. And he's like, he didn't know that his uncle thought it was. So he comes home and all you can hear upstairs while the family's eating dinner is just from the bed. And he breaks the robot and somehow gets it pregnant and it has a child and he has to figure out why this child is here and this. It's messed up.
You sold me. I'll at least I'll try it out and see.
It's so messed up. It's so everything about it is so wrong and hilarious and wrong and funny and wrong. And it's and they're coming out with season 5 apparently. It's like,
all right. Well, you sold me. That'll be on my list now that I have a little more free time. I'll try to catch that one as well.
It's demented humor.
All right. Well, what you got planned for the rest of the day?
So my stepdad's coming over to help me move a mirror to put the mirror back in that giant mirror. Try to put that one back in the living room, and after that, nothing.
Okay, I've got to go.
Animal Crossing.
I got to go break down a computer.
Greg bought me these amoeba cards, and apparently you can do something with it in the game. They're apparently really hard to find, and he sent me this, and he was like, "Here, have fun going down this rabbit hole." I'm like, "Another plate to spin." Yeah, baby, woo! We love it.
Ed McMahon gives you 4.5 stars.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I watch something on the internet and I go, "Ooh, I'd like to learn how to do that." And I'm sure in the multiverse, there's a version of me that did, but I gotta learn to say no to some things, even to myself. That's the crazy part is you have to tell yourself no. Like, all right, don't you have enough to do?
Yeah, you need to take some free time. Relax.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, hey, always love doing this with you. And we'll look forward to seeing you the next time whenever we do it. If we don't make 300, we'll do the 3rd year anniversary for sure. We'll do another 5-hour podcast with the boys and eat pizza and talk for, endless hours.
That was obscene. I don't even remember eating the pizza. I was like, where did the pizza go? Oh, I ate it. Oh, crap. All right, man. Well, take care. Everybody, if you've enjoyed this and you want to hear more, please remember to rate, review, subscribe. There's lots of episodes with Mr. Josh Treadaway on this if you want to search them. We get silly and funny, and we do all kind of research on Star Wars and Marvel Universe and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, I'm off, and y'all have a great day, and cue the cow.
Guys, to give me more likes. Give me more likes.